Alright guys, welcome to the Week 12 edition of the Baller Spreads. First game in order with all these playoff implications in line is going to be Play to Win versus Suck My Birds. Well, Play to Win, only win all season long has been against Suck My Birds about 10 weeks ago, and now they meet again with only 2 weeks left in the regular season, and Miles Austin drops 19 points on Meg. So it's not looking good. Meg's got some questionable lineup choices in there. I would put Matt Forte back in personally instead of Lavernius Coles or Nate Burleson, but she's got it where she's got it. I set Play to Win's roster as best I could. Mark Sanchez, Ray Rice, T.O., Santana Moss. None of those guys have really outstanding matchups. They really don't. So Meg should be able to run away with this one, but her guys have tough matchups also, with Kurt Warner being banged up, Roethlisberger banged up, Deshaun playing against Washington. The newly acquired Pierre Thomas still has a tough matchup with New England. Reggie Wayne actually should have a good game at Houston, but I think this game's going to be a lot closer than Meg would like. Hopefully the Eagles will be able to just take care of business against Washington, and she'll have a good chance to win this one. Good luck, Meg. I know pretty much everybody is rooting for you, probably including Brandon. Um, Moving on, Jersey versus Solid Snakes. Well, Jersey and Solid Snakes, theoretically, Jersey has a shot to win the division, or, he's got to win this week and next week. Solid Snakes has to lose this week and next week in order for Jersey to win the division and make the playoffs, because I don't think, theoretically possible that he could win a wild card, but very doubtful. Um, Both of these guys have pretty good matchups going down the stretch, although, I'll take Peyton Manning over Matt Hasselbeck any day. Mendenhall and D'Angelo, I'd probably give D'Angelo the edge right there. Ryan Grant and Donald Driver already played and combined for 27 points, which is pretty good. But Kevin Smith also dropped an 8 spot, and Jersey's got favorable matchups with Michael Turner coming back against Tampa Bay at home. This is going to be a really, really tight game. I don't really know which way it's going to go, so I'm just going to say it's a pick 'em, in all honesty. Both teams are trotting out 3 or 4 running backs and just a couple receivers, and have a lot of strong matchups for the tight ends too. So yeah, I got really no opinion on who's going to win that one. It's a pick 'em. LA Riots, who are out of it now, one of the only teams mathematically eliminated from the playoffs because the division leader in that division has just so many wins. I drafted that fucking team, by the way. So they're playing against Prime Time, who absolutely has to win. I guess both of these teams theoretically can make a playoff spot. They're 5-6. Their division leader's 8-3. They're fighting to maybe make a wild card with a 7-6 record. Whoever loses is obviously going to be mathematically eliminated. Whoever wins can stay in it, but would need a whole bunch of other things to happen to make it happen. Nobody's really going to be watching this game in that case. Primetime's already out to a nice lead with Aaron Rodgers doing his thing. Brandon Jacobs got a few points, and Lawrence Tynes threw in a 7th spot, so he's already off. Already off and running. LA Riots has been looking for tight end help. Sold Steven Jackson earlier, although he's hurt, so that might not have been so bad. None of his matchups are really all that great. Phillip Rivers against KC could be the difference. Ricky Williams at Buffalo also could be. Those guys could have big games, but I just don't see him having enough to get past Prime Time, who will stay in contention for this league, at least for a possibility at a wild card there. Moving on, Campbell Squad versus the Annihilator. Well, I mean, one team's 8-3, the other 6-5. Obviously, Annihilator absolutely has to have the win to stay alive, whereas Campbell can lose and still be just fine. I'd say Campbell's going to win anyway, mostly because 49 Annihilator's just not that good of an owner, and he'll make a mistake, like benching the Broncos D against the awful New York Giants and left their 21 points on his bench. Now he's going to have to hope that the Seahawks who have an awful defense, have a chance at St. Louis. Things like that are what cost you a playoff bid. And Eric, I'm sorry, bud, but I think you're gonna lose this one too. Jones, Drew, Frank Gore, Joe Ladai, too much for you. Good luck, buddy. You're gonna need it. Moving on, Flight 815 against 29 Crash. I mean, these are all division games here. These guys are tied at division lead. It doesn't get any better than that. Tony and Tony and Nate, man. Honestly, both of your teams have a really, really big matchup. I think it's going to be a really high-scoring game. 29 Crash already has 27 points on the board with the Cowboys and Mason Crosby. Got great matchups for Dallas Clark, Pierre Garcon. Although those guys don't get points unless... oh, never mind. I got mixed up a little. Drew Brees should do real well, actually, against New England. Tom Brady should do his thing at New Orleans. Great matchups for Tony. Really good matchups for Nate. I have no idea who's going to win this one. I really don't. It's going to be like a 125 to 135 kind of game in my estimation. New England, New Orleans, and is going to be a huge game, as is Indy, Houston. I'm really looking forward to seeing this one. This is the one for all the marbles, because whoever wins this one's probably going to win the division and move on to the playoffs for sure, which is the money, you know. And then lastly, my game, which I suppose has some playoff implications. High Step and Freak absolutely has to have this game. Yeah, my team really sucks. So basically, the only way I'm going to win is if I get lucky. And Carson Palmer has a huge game, which he could. He's got a great matchup. Justin Forsett's got a great matchup. Donnie Avery's got a great matchup. So my matchups are actually pretty favorable, whereas High Step and Freak's players are actually better. So, he's going with a real receiver-heavy lineup here with Harvin, Jennings, and Sims Walker. Yeah, it basically just needs Minnesota to have another huge game. They're playing against Chicago, who has been sucking, but is due for a big game. So my only hope is if, I can play the spoiler, if Chicago does a number on Minnesota. So good luck to y'all guys. We're all going to need it. It's going to be a tough one. And to all the contenders, my heart is with the spoilers. It's all right, but that's just the way it is. Peace.